I can't get down.
Hey everyone, it's me, ShbeblyTheGreat, always letting you know if you should shelve it or trash it. Now, this is a video that I've been meaning to do for a long while. See, when I was a kid, I would frequently visit my aunt when we had long breaks from school. We would play things like Sonic Mega Collection Plus, Spider-Man 2, and one game that I haven't revisited in a long while. Pitfall, The Lost Expedition. I find it weird that even back then, this game got so much praise from critics. It even won an E3 award. And from what I could tell, it sold pretty well, but no one ever talks about it anymore. Which is a shame because I consider this a huge hidden gem from the 6th generation of consoles. I know I never talk about it, but I consider this game one of my favorite games ever. Fucking Pitfall of all things. Now, it's not just nostalgia talking, this game is still really good. And like all good things, they have their problems. So let's start off with this huge mess of a plot.
So right off the bat, yeah, this game just kind of starts with a demon cat with magic arms, you know, everyday stuff. So next up, we cut to a day before. We get introduced to our main character, Harry.
Who are you? Harry. Most people call me Pitfall Harry.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. That can't be his real name. Wait! Master Chief! The name's Halo. So after that, Harassment Harry over here bugs this woman Nicole, who's just trying to read a book. Shortly after, everyone fucking dies. Nah, just kidding. The plane just gets hit with lightning. Multiple times. He then throws everyone off, so Harry and the guy from before, Bittenbinder, are forced to stay since there's no more parachutes. Harry miraculously survives this and meets up with...
Hey, you made it!
this guy. He basically just tells you to save everyone, so after that, we get introduced to this talking cat named Quickclaw. He tells us that a sorcerer gave him the power of speech and goes on about dead snakes or something? I don't know. I hate every cutscene with him because of how annoying he is. Now, right after that, we meet up with Bittenbinder and... okay, a lot of these cutscenes are just the video game tutorial type of cutscenes. You know, the ones where story doesn't really happen yet. So let's skip ahead a bit. Okay, so we get some exposition about how Bittenbinder is here because he used to help his friend Kevin McAllister. Basically, he was Kevin's guide and didn't explore with him one day, so he got lost and hasn't been heard from since then. So Kevin's daughter Nicole, the woman from the plane, asked if he could help her find him. After freeing this guy Leech and knocking over a tree, we meet up with this mistake and see that he's acting kinda strange when asked if the sorcerer who gave him speech could help Harry find the rest of the crew.
You said you were given the power of speech by a sorcerer, right?
As a reward for my years of...
Maybe he could use his magic to help me find these people I'm searching for.
You don't want to meet this guy. Trust me.
What's his name?
If you're looking for your people, I think I saw one east of here.
So we find Nicole and meet up with the main villain of the game, St. Clair, who apparently gets off from torturing natives.
Tortured any natives lately?
Anyways, he jumps down a hole and we're treated with more awkward animation. More on that later. Eventually, we learn that McAllister was actually looking for El Dorado. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm skipping things, I promise I'm not. This game just dumps story in chunks with no flow. Moving on, this tribe's princess named Mike vanishes. We find her and she has powers or something, I don't know.
I've been by your village. I think they're worried about you.
I just wanted some butterflies.
Why?
You don't need a reason to want something.
Why? Fuck you, that's why.
We go back to the village, they thank us, then we just get random exposition about how Harry has feelings for Nicole. Okay. Then we see that Quickclaw is kind of a freak of the jungle now that he can talk. Don't care. Let's see, Nicole misses her dad a lot. We get the slightest bit of character development here, actually. Harry calls Nicole's dad an asshole for taking a huge risk knowing he had a young daughter. Which is fair, I suppose. It's cool to see something like this in such a douchey character, but it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It just kinda happens. So next up, we run into St. Clair, who seems to be controlling this magic tribe leader named Puska. After we beat him, we meet up with Nicole and...
Bittenbinder told me everything. You're here looking for your deadbeat dad.
Jesus Christ, Harry, chill out.
He was no deadbeat.
Oh yeah? Then where is he?
Dude, stop! Holy fuck!
There's something I've got to tell you.
What?
What I said? I'm sorry.
What is happening?
This writing's gonna be the end of me. I wanted to save that for the end of the story segment, but this writing... God, I'll try to keep it together, but calling it bad is an understatement. This is like top tier shit.
So Quick Claw asks why Harry's name is fucking Pitfall. We actually learned his tragic backstory.
My old man loved adventuring more than us. One day, he just split.
Oh God, you poor thing! That's so tragic!
What's it say?
Something about a prophecy of a man who would change time.
Time.
This prophecy could be about my father.
Guys, I'm really trying to get through this story, but I've actually never paid attention to it before. This is getting harder and harder to follow, and my head is actually hurting. So, Nicole goes to talk to the evil shaman Puska, the guy we constantly told her was evil, to get answers about her dad. Then we learn that El Dorado was built on the ruins of another city that looks like El Dorado. What the fuck does that even mean? Also, this guy says Nicole is trying to save Puska from St. Clair. Okay, cool. Speaking of, Nicole here believes everything Puska is saying, and understandably, Harry isn't buying it. Then we find her dead dad. Yeah, he just kind of shows up. Don't you just hate when that happens?
What happened to him?
Well, I'm no expert, but looks like he fucking died.
We head back to camp and find out that Nicole came back chanting some native language that opened a door. Apparently Puska told her to do it and that he could save her dad. God, I hate her more and more. So then Harry meets up with Mike and gets a little racist.
My friend Nikki is missing, and I've got a hunch you've got some answers that you haven't been sharing.
Now, bear with me here. Mike here says Harry might be the one.
The one what?
The one who'd find the artifacts. They've needed 500 years in these temples to gather power.
What power?
The power to open the door to El Dorado and activate the time temple inside. To take me back to my city just as I left it 500 years ago. And to save my people from the Spanish invaders.
Okay, stop. So, Mike is from the past. Puska wanted the people of her tribe to surrender when the Spanish attacked, but her dad wanted to fight back, resulting in everyone dying. So she was just sent to the future, you know, as you do, to grab the artifacts that Harry has been collecting so she can go back and send El Dorado back 1,000 years. Since everyone's already dead, there's no rush. So once this is done, the Spanish will find the ruins of a city that existed 1,000 years earlier. So that's what that means. Doesn't excuse it for being an incredibly dumb plot device. So Puska was banished for not agreeing with her dad and just spent a few hundred years killing people, waiting for the princess to come back so he can steal them, and I don't know, he's evil, I guess? And her dad saw that someone in the future would be destined to help them. Puska thinks it's St. Clair, and she thinks it's Harry. After that plot, Quick Claw pops in and says, "Hey dumbass, Nicole is still missing." But we learn that Mike is the one who cursed him with speech because he was stealing food. And Harry acts like it's the worst thing in the world. He's a fucking wild animal. What else is he gonna do besides take food? So then Quick Claw tells Harry, "Hey, don't listen to her. Nicole's walking around with the evil guy. Let's go." To which Mike responds with, "Yo, if you don't do this and like help my people, everyone's gonna die." But she goes out of her way to clarify, even though it already happened, it's still your fault. Asshole. She just fucking dumps the death of an entire village on this one guy because fuck him, I guess. So out of guilt, Harry helps. Alright, so we get ourselves captured by a clone army, sneak out, and St. Clair just dies. Yeah, the main villain of the game that everyone was talking about just dies by Puska. So we come back with the artifacts and whoa, plot climax! Nicole says Puska told her that the artifacts will send Mike back, but won't send El Dorado back 1,000 years. Also, that it'll give Puska the power to save everyone. But then we learn, Puska wanted to rat out his people to the Spanish. Holy mother of forgotten plot details! Mike? The only reason Nicole is believing this is because 1, she's a dumb bitch, and 2, Puska promised to go back and save her dad. But wait! Harry says Puska killed her father. He comes to this conclusion not by doing detective work or anything like that, but because he noticed that the goofy way that her dad died is the same way St. Clair died. And then, oh no! Nicole dies! No, God! So then we travel back in time to wherever and fight a big demon jaguar. Oh, like in the beginning. So we get powers, fight it, beat Puska, blah, 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 the end. Thank Christ! I'm sorry, but I was actually getting a headache trying to piece this together. No joke. I think this was probably the hardest plot I had to sit through in a video game. It 100% was put in here last minute, and it shows. Nothing makes sense, nothing flows well together, not one person interacts with any human being naturally, and it's all just one huge mess. Now that we got that headache out of the way, let's get into my favorite part about this game. It's so much fun to play. After showing this game to my Discord server, the most frequent comparison I got to it was Jak and Daxter. Now, I've never played Jak and Daxter, but I know how it plays, and I think that's a good comparison here. So imagine Jak and Daxter, just less stiff and a little faster pace. When you start up the game, all you have are your basic moves. You can attack, double jump, roll around, and air kick. Honestly, Harry's pretty good with this basic moveset, but within the first few seconds of the game, you'll notice right away that this game is very comedic and knows not to take itself seriously. I mean, the first enemy you encounter is a hole in the ground with teeth. Yes, it's alive. And that's all over the place in this game. I can tell the developers really had a lot of fun hamming up what was in the original Pitfall. I mean, you still jump on alligators and stuff. Now, one of my favorite things about the gameplay that I really admire is how the map is handled. Usually when I say map in the context of a video game, your mind often thinks to what we're all used to, a rotating mini-map or maybe a waypoint that points you in the direction that you're going. It's helpful for huge open world games. Pitfall is kind of a linear styled open world game, if that makes sense. It's still pretty big, but you just gotta follow certain paths to get to other parts of the world. Now the map in this game is literally a paper map. It'll tell you where to go, but that's it. You need to memorize where locations are in your area and go from there. And I kinda like that. It doesn't hold your hand and rotate with your camera. You map out the places you need to go in order to make it to your destination. Sometimes you can end up finding places before the game takes you there, and on your first time playing, it's going to be a lot of fun finding these all on your own. So when the game wants to take you there, you'll be able to say, oh yeah, I've been there. And you're going to need that map because on your adventure, you'll find plenty of locations you can't get to yet because you don't have a certain item or attack move. So Harry will mark them on the map. That way, when you do end up getting one of these, the specific item location is already marked so you can go back and explore right away.
Hey, I need some help, man. I've been stuck up here for 5 days now. I chased a cat and he got away. Hey, no, hey, no, come back. Hey, wait, wait! I hit myself.
But that's one of the few things I really don't like about this game's progression. You'll be backtracking a lot throughout your playtime. Now, some of you might like that, and I did initially as well. It just gets so tiring to finally make it on one end of the map just to be told to go on the complete other side where I just came from. And like I said, it doesn't hold your hand, so no fast travel. Usually you'll end up exploring these areas to snag idols. These idols are currency for the sleeping shaman you'll find throughout the game. This is where you purchase new moves, health upgrades, and secrets to mark on your map. This teaches you to think long term because this guy isn't easy to find. You usually have to go out of your way to get to him, but I kinda like that approach because you get to experiment more with what Harry can do. This is how I learned how to quickly get from place to place without messing up. So, be careful with what you buy, because once you buy something, he disappears to the next location. Now, as you progress further into the game, you'll gradually receive different kinds of items to help you out on your adventure. A slingshot to hit targets and take out enemies, a torch that lights up the dark and burns bats, a shield to protect and reflect, an inner tube, a gas mask, a pair of pickaxes to climb and spin around with, and some TNT to blow shit up. You're usually led to these items or given them through the story. My favorite one is the torch because Harry just kinda shoves it in his backpack, still on fire. Something else you'll run into are these animal spirit sections. Whenever you're on your way to search for a temple artifact, the main collectible in the game, you'll run into these segments where you swap bodies with one of the animal enemies in the game. Your goal is to try to stop them from escaping with your body by knocking him around a couple times, but it gets kinda challenging because they have all of your upgrades and abilities while you're just an animal with one attack. They're really fun for your first go around, but get pretty annoying the more you play them. They're harmless overall. One thing I really enjoyed while exploring this game is the presentation. This game has really nice color balance and makes the jungle feel really full. It kinda has its own unique style to it. The in-game animations are smooth and flow well together. I just wish I could say the same for the cutscenes. Like I stated earlier in the video, these cutscenes are just so awkward. It feels completely separate from the main game. It's really bizarre. Like, you play the game and everything feels great. You watch a cutscene and you're questioning what the hell they were going for. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating when I say every scene is so badly animated. It's even more awkward than Sonic Adventure 1's cutscenes. But really, I can't complain. The cutscenes are such a small part of this big adventure. I mean, oh, fuck!
Oh, what the fuck? Oh god, that's right. So for a lot of you who don't know, in 2008, Activision decided to breathe some new life into this game with a port to a recent generation console, which is pretty cool of them, but for some ungodly reason, everything except the game was changed.
So this is the box art for the regular game. Every console in the 6th generation had the same exact box art. Pretty cool looking art, right? I'm actually a huge fan of how well this is designed. Now, this is the Wii version. I just don't get it. This looks so awful. It makes the game look like one of those shitty shovelware party games the Wii was fucking filled with. What gets me is on the back it says in big text, 60 levels of jungle madness for the entire family. Oh, it hurt reading that. I don't even consider them levels.
So what was your favorite level of the game?
Probably the jungle level.
Which jungle level?
The one with the jungle in it.
Dude, like 80% of the game is in the jungle. You gotta be more specific.
Now, considering the game, it's the exact same game. The only thing that's changed is the title screen and the control layout. By that, I mean good old motion controls. So, everything in the game now requires a specific motion. Thankfully, someone at Edge of Reality had the common sense to include GameCube controller support. So whoever you are, good sir, I salute you. I mean, one benefit this has over the original is that it natively supports widescreen, which is dope. But other than that, I think it's the exact same game. I'll have to look more into it to spot any differences. Even though the Wii version is technically the better version, just print out a custom cover to get rid of this garbage packaging. I'll link the one I made in the description.
So, it all comes down to this. What should you do? Shelve it or trash it? Well, in my opinion, this game got swept under the rug big time. Ignoring the painful plot and awkward cutscene animations, the Lost Expedition is a great time for any adventure/platformer fan. I highly recommend you check this game out 100%. If you start streaming this, go ahead and tweet at me and I'll try to pop in. I would love to see new life breathed into this game starting in 2019. With all that said, and this is completely biased, top shelf.